Live, this is a severe weather alert from Channel 7 Action News.
And we begin tonight with a flash flood warning as heavy rains move in on the Detroit area. Chopper 7 is over an overpass in southwest Detroit where cars are trapped in high water. Let's go right to Dennis Newbacher now with the latest on that. Dennis?
Well, Robbie, they've been getting a lot of folks here to help push some of these cars. You know, every time it rains, these overpasses here in southwest Detroit, this is the Livernois overpass about halfway in between Verner Highway and Michigan Avenue, floods almost every time when you get heavy rains in the southwest side of Detroit, and that's what's happening here. And all the overpasses, all the streets that pass under these railroad tracks, basically from about Grand Boulevard over to, let's say Lanyo, that area on the southwest side of Detroit, are flooded. But you saw that one car sideways. You see people helping. There's an overpass just immediately east of here where there's a pickup that's stuck down in the water. You'll see that come into view here. And as we circle around here, you'll begin to see other things as well. But what's also beginning to happen is another wave of rain is coming through, and there's some lightning in this. So once we get done with this report here, we're going to probably have to get out of this area here because obviously the lightning is a little bit of a concern for us. But we'll come around on the other side here and take a look at the other side of the overpass, and you can see how deep the water is here at this overpass. Trucks are trying to make it through. They can try probably maybe in the left lane where the water may not be as deep, but the cars are the ones who are having a tough time. There comes a car, or pickup truck rather, with the trailer passing through here. There's also a roadway that passes parallel to this, the railroad tracks. I think that's Kronk, and that's flooded as well in some stretches here. But this is the worst of it here at Livernois and some of the other underpasses that go under these railroad tracks. Again, basically from about the area of West Grand Boulevard to just a little bit southwest of here. We'll keep an eye on this flooding, but there's a big wave of rain coming through, and of course you just saw it on the radar, and you'll hear more, I'm sure, from Jerry as well. We'll keep an eye on it. Live from Chopper 7 in southwest Detroit in the rain. Dennis Newbacher reporting.
I was going to say, we see it on your windshield as well.
Yeah,
and I think some good advice, if you see some high water, don't try to drive through it because you don't know how deep it is at this point because those flood warnings are in effect, and the warning is in effect for Wayne County.
You bet. And as Dennis said, we are going to get more from Chief Meteorologist Jerry Hodak right now. Jerry?
Well, this flash flood warning is in effect until 7:30 tonight, and Dennis is right. Even though we had heavy rain that produced the flooding that you saw there in those pictures that were from the chopper, we've got another wave just coming through downtown right now, and that's only going to make matters worse. Here's a look at the Doppler 7 radar, and you'll see that pretty much a scattered pattern here now across southeastern lower Michigan. It was fairly tightly clustered here a little earlier from Grosse Pointe all the way down into the Trenton area, but now we're seeing this next cluster come in right across Grand River, coming in toward downtown Detroit from the northwest, and it's moving at about 10 to 15 miles per hour. Now, we've been watching some of these rain totals here over the past hour or so, last couple of hours actually, and you'll see what we've been picking up here with the Doppler. We've got an indication of 3 inches of rain in the southwestern part of downtown Detroit, up to 2 inches of rain in the downtown area, lighter amounts in these blue areas out toward Harper Woods and Grosse Pointe, up to about a ½ inch of rainfall. So really the areas of heaviest rain are right here in the downtown area, Highland Park, Hamtramck, and right into downtown Detroit, into the southwestern part of the city. 2 to 3 inches of rain here since it all began about 3 o'clock this afternoon. So a lot of rain in a short amount of time, and you can see what happened. Now, we did have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Wayne County. That just expired at 4:45, so we no longer have severe weather, but the rain is going to make matters only worse, as you saw with the flooding in the underpasses. That's the reason for the flash flood warning in effect now until 7:30. We'll give you an update on the weather and also the forecast, what we can expect. There may be some more rain in our forecast. All that coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Jerry. Our family tonight is facing the horror of a tragic fire that killed 3 young people. 2 teenage sisters and a 1-year-old baby died when their home went up in flames. It happened this morning in Woodhaven. Action News reporter Kimberly Craig has the story.
Firefighters arrived quickly to battle the intense blaze, but nothing would save the 3 precious lives who couldn't get out in time. 18-year-old twins Heather and Brooke Slayton were killed in the fire, along with Brooke's 1-year-old son, Randy.
I don't know how any of us will live through tonight. I have no clue how we will live through tonight.
Grieving relatives stayed close by as fire investigators began to try and find out what started the deadly fire that started around 5 o'clock this morning. A family friend who we're told was in the basement is the only one who managed to escape, and he called 911 while trying to wake neighbors for help.
Woodhaven 911 emergency. Hey, we need a fire department in Woodhaven Transmissions. The house is on fire. There's some people in the house. Oh my God!
Fire marshal assured my daughter Heather and Brooke did not suffer one breath. They took a couple inhales of that smoke, and the smoke got them.
Rosalie Rose says her twin granddaughters, Heather and Brooke, were like angels who loved animals. They just turned 18 in late August, and she says Brooke's little boy was just learning to walk and talk. They all live with the girl's father, who happened to be at a friend's house when the fire started.
John would have never escaped and left those children, never. Never, he would have never. He loved Heather Brooke. He would never, ever left his children.
So far, we're told no accelerants have been detected inside the home, and the fire chief says that the blaze burned so hot that it may be difficult to determine a cause. In Woodhaven, Kimberly Craig, Channel 7 Action News.
Okay, thanks, Kim. And we'll turn now to the latest in the Detroit teacher strike. Negotiators are back at the table right now trying to end the walkout. An Action News reporter, Michael Rosenfield, has a live report for us, and because of the lightning, that report is live on the phone in Detroit's News Center area. Michael?
Yep. Hi, Robbie. The school district is telling me today they're very surprised that teachers are still on strike. Administrators really believe that teachers would be back in class and continue to negotiate at the same time, similar to what's happening in other local school districts, but that's not the case here. So both sides are back at the table today. Union leaders indicated they were optimistic as they entered the negotiating rooms, but wouldn't indicate how close or far apart they remain. On Tuesday, you'll recall, the school district failed to persuade a judge to order teachers back to class. Instead, both parties will be back in court tomorrow. So school for now remains on hold indefinitely, really for two reasons. So few students attended yesterday's first day of school, and even with the low numbers, 250 administrators just aren't enough. So school is still canceled, and talks are ongoing. We'll have another update for you at 6. Back to you guys.
Okay, thank you, Michael.
And meanwhile, the strike has forced a lot of parents to make last-minute changes. Action News reporter Val Clark has that part of the story.
Now! Classes were not in session today despite what the district, parents, and even some striking teachers expected.
I was as shocked as anyone when I watched the news last night on Channel 7, and they said the schools were closed and that they didn't get together.
Period 1 through 3.
With no settlement and no court order, teachers are still on the picket line. So parents like Joe Slappy are rearranging schedules and staying home with the kids.
When I'm home, I like to monitor them, know what they're doing. Because like I said, it's a lot of stuff going on out here, and they need to be in school.
Parents who can't stay home are leaving children with older siblings or relatives.
While we look at the truck over there.
This great-grandmother's happy to help, but anxious for 5-year-old David to start first grade.
All during the summer, I was teaching him at home anyway, before all this came up, to keep him abreast of what he learned in kindergarten.
Some parents who also happen to be Detroit teachers are bringing their kids along for strike duty.
The children are eager to go back to school, but I have to stand with my union, and we can't be divided in our house, so they're out as long as I'm out.
And that was Val Clark reporting. Stay with Action News for the latest on the Detroit teacher strike and to find out when classes could resume. As always, you can log on to WXYZ.com anytime to get the latest information.
And contract negotiations between Eastern Michigan University and the faculty have broken off. The university said it's made its last offer. Action News reporter Bill Proctor is in Ypsilanti on this first day of classes.
Striking EMU faculty walked a picket line in the morning darkness, but support came from students at First Light.
Hi, would you like an I support my faculty sticker?
They passed out red stickers and buttons for fellow students to wear and provided petitions to sign in support of the teachers. They stood outside of the very same classroom building where the EMU president was talking to students about the teachers' demands and the administration's last best offer.
There's a lot of misinformation out there, but nonetheless, there are authoritative sources of information, and I encourage our students to access that information.
He told students there's a 16% wage and benefit offer on the table, a package he described as generous
leaving 16% on the table. That's a very generous offer compared with our sister institutions, and not just in Michigan, but across the country.
The union doesn't see it that way.
When you put those numbers together with inflation and the small pay increase they're offering, plus the health care deduction, they want us to teach for less.
I showed up at my computer class, and there was no teacher to teach it.
Just I would rather have my classes today.
At this point, there are clearly a lot of unhappy people on this campus. Among the teachers who are striking, the administration who is unhappy that their offer was essentially rejected, and the students who would simply like to get back to class with their instructors in place. In Ypsilanti, Bill Proctor, Channel 7 Action News.
And right now we're working on several news stories for Action News at 6.
And Stephen Clark joins us now from the newsroom with a look at that. Stephen?
Robbie Frank, thank you very much. Good evening to you. Violence from a local carjacking takes a dramatic turn as a grandmother falls from the moving car. Action News is there as police make a special request in this case. Watch tonight on Action News at 6.
But first at 5, there's a warning for women. A thief is targeting women in 4 local communities. We'll have a live report later in the newscast.
Plus, new video of police chasing a gang of car thieves who stole high-end muscle cars.
And a man who tipped the scales at 425 pounds found a way to eat the food he loved and still lose weight. Will reveal his weight loss secrets.
And we're following this breaking news. Severe storms causing flash flooding in southwest Detroit. Here's a look from Chopper 7 over the Michigan-Verner area. Stay tuned for continuing severe weather coverage.